I used to feel a lot, and then life gets in the way.
I used to feel a lot until I realized I couldn't control my feelings.
Thank you.
And so then I stopped caring about how I felt because I couldn't control how I felt. That was then, this is now.
Correct. And you get so used to one vibration, one feeling.
That because law of attraction causes momentum.
Works.
So when I get on a track, it's easier to stay on it than to get off of it once the momentum gets going. Mm-hmm. So that's all right.
Okay. And then I know I just want to, I have nothing to do but focus on myself and my feelings. I don't have much to worry about. I just want to know if I'm vibrating or how to vibrate. And I just don't know if I'm, and I'm afraid. I'm just afraid. I don't want to be afraid anymore to feel. And I know that's where it all lies. But I'm afraid if I feel, I'm going to feel too much, and then it's going to choke me up. And then I'm afraid if I feel, then I'll get disappointed again. But that's all silly, and I know that. So I'm like this. I'm like, whoa, which way are you going to go? 'Cause
So I'm afraid, which means I feel fear, which is an emotion. I don't want to be disappointed, which is fear of something that I will feel later, but instead of feeling the fear, I'm feeling the disappointment instead of the fear, because I'm focused in ways that are causing emotions, and I'm trying to control emotions, but I'm not doing anything about directing my thought. Mm-hmm. And if we were standing in any of your physical shoes and we were scattered all over the place, we would understand the fear, because it's sort of like it's like if you're walking across a very narrow ledge and there's a big distance that you could fall and scuff yourself up pretty good, and you haven't practiced it, you don't feel stable. As you say, you're all over the place. You haven't practiced your steadiness. We say stay off the ledge. Stay off the ledge because it's not going to go well.
No.
And so some would say, well, then my fear is well placed. And we say, well, it's showing you that you're in a treacherous place. And so then you say, well, when I stand here, it just scares me to death. And we say, then don't stand there. Go someplace that's not so scary. And it's the same thing about these thoughts that you are thinking that are giving you fear. Go someplace where the thoughts you think. Go someplace with your thoughts that don't feel scary. Doesn't that make sense? That's what your guidance system is about. Your guidance system is saying to you. You see, did you follow us when we were saying that you are an extension of this non-physical part of you?
Yes.
Well, that non-physical part of you is with you all the time. That non-physical part of you is right here in your current experience, whatever it is, all the time. And that non-physical part of you has a perspective, and it's a perspective of well-being. It knows your value. It knows the value of those that you are interacting with. It has all good thoughts about that. But when you think a thought that is really divergent from what the source within you thinks, then you feel the separation. It's too strong a word because you're never separated. But you feel the distortion, the pinching off, the stretching of the relationship, so to speak. And that's what that fear is. So when you feel fear, turn away from whatever it is that is causing the fear toward something that is its opposite. So tell us, if you can, what's the scariest thought that you were alluding to as you were describing to us your imbalance? What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of not feeling. I'm afraid that I've lost that feeling. If I feel, it's a lot of fear. If I'm really feeling a vibration, it's fear.
Well, now we're just going to ask you some direct questions, and if you could just answer the questions that we ask.
Sure.
Because it's easy to get all twirled up in this. So you described quite a bit of fear. Mm-hmm. And so what are you afraid of? Just say it simply. What am I afraid? What am I afraid? What am I afraid of? Getting it wrong?
another broken heart. Just, yeah.
I'm afraid of feeling bad.
Yeah, I'm afraid of, hurt and pain.
So you're not worried about someone coming into the night?
No.
You're not worried about the economy.
No.
You're not worried about
money. I'm not worried about.
What you're worried about is, just say it as succinctly as you can.
I am worried about not feeling all that I know I can feel.
All right. So when you feel, and it's a strong feeling within you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you feel that concern, that fear, what does that tell you about what the source within you knows about you? If fear is present when you're thinking in opposition to source, what must source be thinking at the same time that you're feeling fear? You know what fear is? Fear is, that's a button that goes, not the receptive mode, not the receptive mode, not the receptive mode, not the receptive mode.
I'm disconnected.
Not the receptive mode. You're not on the vibe of the source within you. The source within you is very far in a different opinion than you are right now. So if your opinion is, I might get it wrong, I'm not getting it right, I don't know what to do, what do you think source is feeling? You're steady. It's all right. It's working out. Don't you love having guidance? So don't make it more complicated than it is. When you feel fear, your thought is screwed up. It's that simple. You're not thinking a valid thought as far as your inner being goes. And you know, that matters. You can line up with all the people on the planet, because there are certainly a lot of fearmongers who will take you down the fearful trail on every subject in the world.
Sure.
There are plenty of them. But what you're trying to do, what you want to do, what you must do, what you were born to do, you got to line up with source. And when you feel fear, it means you're not lined up. It's so simple. This thought doesn't line up with source. Should I keep thinking it?
No.
Well, sometimes I can't not think it because the momentum's pretty strong. But when you go to bed at night, that momentum's going to subside. Mm-hmm. And when you wake up tomorrow, you've got a choice about whether you pick it up and continue it on, or whether you let it go to sleep, or whether you let it dissipate a little more, you see. We think that you all are not really understanding what fear is, what guidance is, what it means. And until you do, then you're just going to keep talking about it and relating it to all kinds of different things, and you're just going to keep it active within you, when right now, doesn't it feel simple?
Mm-hmm. And you know you're on track and you're feeling the emotions, and you're on track and you're connected to source, when there are moments when I'm like, my whole life is very simple. My life is great. It moves along. I have plenty of money. I have the love. I have everything. It's just that I'm afraid sometimes I want to allow myself to feel enough that I could even feel greater, that I can even, it's
so
more
right
tuned
now,
in.
Right now I've got my self pinched off from something that I want, and I'm afraid that I'm going to keep pinching myself off from something I want. I think I'll keep talking about how much I'm pinching myself off from what I want. And I think I would like to give you some examples of the fear that I feel on a pretty regular basis as I pinch myself off from what I want. And we say, just back away from the ledge.
Okay.
Just back away from the ledge. Just don't keep going there. Stop talking about what you're not getting done.
Yeah, okay.
You see,
Got it.
when you really want something and you're not letting yourself flow toward it, it feels pretty uncomfortable. In other words, if you're driving along in your car and you're going 5 miles an hour and you're not watching what you're doing, and you just bump into things, it's not really a big problem at 5 miles an hour. But if you're going 100 miles an hour,
ouch,
and you're bumping into things, it's a bigger problem. So what you're worried about is going fast and bumping into things. And it's just because you don't have confidence in your ability to control your vibrational frequency. And the only reason anybody is worried about not being able to control their vibrational frequency is because they haven't been practicing it. Okay. You're just bumping into things and complaining about it, and bumping into things and complaining about it. When you have the ability, not once momentum is really going, because law of attraction won't let you let loose of that thought in that moment. That it's already come from a vibration into a thought, into some sort of a manifestation, and there's enough momentum going that you're probably going to live it out in some way. And that's really what you're saying to me. I'm worried that I've got momentum going that I'm not aware of, or that I'm not in control of, and it's going to turn into something that's going to feel really bad. Humans say, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Even when things are going well, I'm worried that it won't last. I'm worried that it won't last because, and it's just because you practice vibrations that pinch it off from time to time. But now you know it. All you've got to do is deliberately apply it. Esther discovered several months ago that if she would sit with a notebook and just write something that felt good when she wrote it, if she would stay focused there just for a little while, that her heart would begin to swell, that lightheartedness would ensue, that her feeling of well-being would just wash over her, and that clarity would be the manifestation that would materialize in her mind. Okay. Just from a simple exercise of sitting and focusing on something that wasn't a problem. She also discovered that if she gets up wanting to be the forthright steward of her own empire, and if she gets deep into her email and looks at all of the aspects of her world, what's happening over there, what's happening over there, what's happening over there, who said what, what's going on over there, that she could activate within herself a confusing, worrisome vibration over which she has no control, but what she could use as her reason to feel worried.
See.
You can look for stuff to worry about. You can look for stuff to laugh about. You can look for stuff to be playful about. You can look, but what happens with so many of you, we love you so much. We do. You are often, always, you are, say that out loud. You are sometimes, on a pretty regular basis, trying to justify your existence through your own struggle. Mm-hmm. You're comparing yourself with others, and in this comparative world, that's the way you sort of stack it up. And we want you to begin to express yourself in relationship with who you really are. Because without your alignment to source, you don't have clarity, you don't have guidance, you don't have fun, you don't have flow, you don't have rhythm, you don't have what you know deep inside that is natural. And that's why you had a hard time even explaining it to us. As you began speaking just now, you didn't even know, you just knew something was missing. You didn't know exactly what it was, and you had no idea how to get to it. You just knew that something was out of whack. I can feel that I'm supposed to feel better, and I don't know what to do about it. And we say, now you do. Now you know what to do about it. If we were standing in your physical shoes, when we go to bed tonight, we would say, tonight I will sleep and all momentum will stop. And when I waken in the morning, I can start it wherever I want to. And then, first day or two, Esther did this. She didn't even make it till breakfast before she was off justifying her existence through struggle and sacrifice. She would say to Tracy, her daughter, Tracy, how are you? Fine. I got up at 5. I was working on the twice monthly. And what Tracy really wanted to hear was, the sunshine is beautiful over here. There's a tendency to want to justify the good that's coming to you through struggle. And every time you do, you hold yourself in a vibrational pattern where you're not receptive to the clues of ease, to the path of least resistance. In fact, we're pretty sure, we know, absolutely, without question, that if a poll were given to the entire world in whatever language they speak so that they really understood the question that was being asked, and they were asked, does a good person in physicaldom follow the path of least resistance or the path of most resistance? Far and away the majority would choose the path of most resistance, because that's how you get your marks on the chart. That's how you compare yourself with others. That's how you say, I'm strong, I'm brave, I'm determined, I'm willing to do what it takes, I'm willing to pay the price, I'm willing to get the mark on the chart. And it's contradictory to who you really are. Who you really are knows that it's not your job to start from scratch on creating, that there is momentum already underway, that there was momentum that you set forth before you even came into this physical body that will carry you.